Have you ever felt like every time you try to get healthy, you start out strong, only to end up back at square one? Like no matter what you do, the wagon just keeps rolling away, leaving you in the dust. Listen, you're not alone. I've been there too, and it's frustrating, right? But what if I told you it's not your fault and that there's one simple mindset shift that could change everything? That's what we're diving into today. But before we get into it, if this does sound like you and you are ready for a new perspective, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe so you don't miss out on more content that helps make getting healthier feel easier. Also, share this with a friend who's stuck in that same cycle of starting over every Monday, because breaking free is so much easier when you've got someone by your side. Welcome back to my channel. I'm Dr. Renee, a double board certified doc who's had the honor of working with women both in person and in the online space for over 20 years. And today we're going to talk about something that's at the root of why so many women feel stuck when it comes to their health and goals. I'm pivoting to include more content about mindset because I've noticed a pattern in the women I work with. They have all of the strategies. They've read the books, followed the diets, bought the programs. They've become collectors of information, but they struggle to consistently apply what they've learned. It's like they're stuck in this loop of knowing what to do, but not being able to do it long enough to see real results. They feel frustrated, stuck, and even defeated. They've invested so much time, energy, and money into the how-to, but something always seems to get in the way, whether it's life, stress, or even self-doubt. And this is exactly why I'm here, to help women break free from that cycle, move past feeling stuck, and finally get the results they've been chasing. And that's why I'm excited to share today's video with you, because I truly believe that mindset, not just strategy, is the key to creating long-term change. So let's dive in. Okay, let's talk about why you keep falling off the wagon. Most of us focus on external strategies, right? The diet plans, the workout routines, apps, trackers, you name it. And sure, those things matter, but here's the deal. They're just tools. If you're not addressing the internal barriers, your mindset, your beliefs, your values, those tools won't work long term. Here's why. Your expectations for the future are shaped by your experiences in the past. So if you've tried and failed at getting healthy before, that becomes your default expectation. Even if you succeed for a little while, there's this little voice in your head whispering, "This won't last, it never does." And eventually you believe it. And here's the thing, when you start listening to that little voice, you naturally gravitate back to your old habits. You stop prioritizing the new changes you've made because deep down, you've convinced yourself it's only a matter of time before you fail again. So you stay stuck, cycling through the same behaviors, the same frustrations, and the same outcomes. It's exhausting, right? But the good news is you don't have to live this way. The first step is to recognize that little voice for what it is. It's just a thought, it's not a fact. And then we can start to rewrite the story. So what's really holding you back? It's these sneaky little things called limiting beliefs. They're the stories we tell ourselves about what we're capable of or not capable of. And they sound something like, "I'm just not a gym person," or "I'll never stick to this," or maybe "this is just who I am." But here's the truth. Those beliefs aren't facts. They're just thoughts you've repeated so many times that they feel like truth. And the more you believe them, the more they shape your actions, and then those actions shape your results. And here's the tricky part. When you keep listening to those limiting beliefs, you start finding ways to prove them right. For example, say you started a diet, but you keep telling yourself, "I'll never stick to this." You may end up binging all weekend after being good on your diet all week. In that moment, you've just confirmed to yourself, "See, I can't stick to anything." And now that limiting belief feels like a fact to you. This is how we stay stuck. We give power to these beliefs and they keep us trapped in the same cycle. But here's the good news. Once you bring awareness to those beliefs and challenge them, you can begin to break free because they're not truth. They're just habits of thought that can be unlearned. So let me pause for a second and share a personal example because I know how it feels to fall off the wagon. After my mom passed away in June, I really started to slip on my self-care. I slipped on many aspects of my self-care, but let's take exercising, for example. Exercising had always been my stress reliever and something I valued for both my physical health and how it made me feel about my body. But in that season of grief, I lost all sight of who I was, which was a fit woman. So to get back on track after several months, I had to reconnect with that identity. I had to ask myself every day, what would a fit woman do? A fit woman wouldn't skip the gym just because she didn't feel like going that day. For her, exercise is a non-negotiable. And I'll be honest, it took willpower in the beginning. But once I started feeling stronger, having more energy, and seeing the changes again in my body, it became less about willpower and more about wanting to keep feeling good. That is what I want for you too. So how do we fix this? It starts with awareness, recognizing the beliefs and expectations that are holding you back. Once you identify them, you can begin to reframe them. Instead of saying, I've always failed at this, try asking yourself, what can I learn from those past attempts to succeed this time? I want you to really get curious about why things didn't work before. Was it the approach, the timing, the lack of support? Understanding the why gives you the power to make meaningful changes. And here's the key, align your habits with your future identity. Every day, ask yourself, what would a healthy woman do? Your vision of a healthy woman is unique to you, so define the habits she'd have and make them your own. For example, what would a fit woman choose to eat? If keto didn't work for you in the past, because you love carbs, create a fit woman's meal plan that includes healthier carbs. The key here is finding what works for you. Next, you might ask, well, how would she prioritize her time? For me, going to the gym for an hour feels essential. But for you, a fit woman might spend only 30 minutes at the gym and the other 30 minutes maybe meditating because stress management might be your priority, or learning about nutrition because you want to learn how to eat better. When your habits reflect the future version of yourself, sticking to them becomes easier. They're no longer just these tasks that you're checking off. They're part of who you are. And that's how real lasting change happens. So if this is hitting home for you and you're ready to stop falling off the wagon for good, I'd love for you to join me in my free 3-day challenge coming up in January. It's just 3 days, and we'll uncover the mindset blocks that have been holding you back, reframe the limiting beliefs keeping you stuck, and teach you how to create habits that actually stick, habits that align with the future version of yourself. So if you're interested, I'll put the link in the description below. And I promise this challenge will be eye-opening and practical. I cannot wait to see you there. So here's what I want you to remember. You're not stuck because you're lazy or unmotivated. You're stuck because of the stories you've been telling yourself. And the good news is you can rewrite those stories. Start by bringing awareness to those limiting beliefs and then align your habits with the version of you that you want to become. And remember, if you enjoyed this video and it gave you a new perspective, don't forget to give it a little love by giving me a thumbs up and subscribe so you don't miss out on more content just like this. Let's take the hard out of getting healthy together. And with that, we'll see you right back here next week. Ciao.